For more on the crash, we are joined by Captain Laura Einsetler, a commercial airline pilot who has flown into that very airport many times. Captain Laura, good morning. When you look at this image of the plane upside down, I mean, it doesn't look real. How could something like this happen?
Well, the investigators are going to be looking at all of the various factors involved in what's happened. Things like descent rates, the wind conditions, of course, the runway conditions, and just all the other factors that might play a significant issue in what we're seeing here.
Captain, we heard the officials there in Toronto say the runway was dry and there was no crosswind. What variables does that leave to cause a crash like this?
Well, they were showing still winds of 37 miles an hour. That could be a factor that is involved in this. As pilots, when we have windy conditions like that, we're going to be having different, crab into the wind and then taking out the crab for landing, flaring, things like that, to make sure that we're doing the best job that we can as pilots.
Captain, when you talk about crabbing and that kind of thing, I'm sure you're talking about maneuvering the airline. Sometimes people out here in civilian land like me think that it's all computerized now and you just press a button and the plane lands itself. Talk a little bit about these adjustments if you could, and also whether when you see something like this, as a pilot, it rattles you in any way, it troubles you.
Well, we fly the aircraft. I know that it's kind of a misnomer that we push a button and it just does its own thing. That's why there's always two of us at the flight controls at all times. We are redundant to each other, which is why there's such an excellent safety record. That is part of what plays into the system that we have in aviation that's highly safe. Those are things that we're trained in, gusty conditions, and all the different various factors involved.
So those factors you just mentioned, two pilots always, but there are some, there are some pushes for changes in regulations and safety, particularly in terms of having that co-pilot. Can you tell us a little bit more about where the industry is trending?
Well, as a safety industry, that is our product, right? So our primary number one priority at all times is keeping the passengers safe as we possibly can. So we are constantly learning, evolving, changing regulations, changing rules, different training criteria that we go through. And as highly trained, highly experienced pilots and being redundant to each other, that's what we have to keep that bar extremely high for safety for everyone.
And Captain, is that bar staying where it is, or have there been pushes to make the industry more efficient and maybe change some of the rules?
Well, we've seen in a few years ago that there was a push, and there still continues to try to be a push for the argument to try to make it single pilot cockpit. That's absolutely one of the worst decisions that we can make. Other things like reducing the amount of timer experience required for certain levels, certifications and ratings that we need to meet as pilots. There was very many different entities like the FAA, airlines, unions involved in making that decision to not reduce any type of requirements for our training.
All right, Captain Laura,
And
thank you. Thank you so much. We appreciate your time.